What's going on, everybody? Power Metal Ranger here for another Ranger Talk video. And today I have very, very special guests. It's none other than the mighty, the magical uh, Shield of Wings. How's it going, guys? Thank you so much for joining me here.
It's going well. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course. So we got Laura, Aaliyah, and James.
Yep.
Thank you again.
Right.
So yeah, I guess, to start out with, the previous thing y'all have done was back in like 2011. Is that correct? There's kind of a long gap between then the previous project and obviously now unfinished. Um, could you tell me a little bit about that journey between the 2011 up to the starting of the creation of Unfinished, what that was like?
Sure. Well, our first era of the band was from 2005 to 2012. And that was a very good era for us and a lot of fun. We had a lot of emphasis on playing live shows more so than recording at the time. And that's why we ended up coming out with our first official EP very late, in 2011. And in 2012, the band went on a hiatus, and all the band members at the time were busy doing things in their own personal life with education and whatnot. And during the time between 2012 and 2017, 2018, I was writing a lot of music by myself. And there was some lineup changes. We ended up losing a bass player, and Aaliyah and Laura joined the band, and
And our new bassist.
our new bassist Alex.
So quite a lot of lineup changes actually happened in that time as well.
Yeah, when we reformed, and we ended up going through the songs that I wrote during the hiatus, and we ended up choosing some of those. And I proposed to Pat, our drummer, and our bass player at the time, Jeff Olsum, and that maybe we should make an album and kind of get things going again. So that's what we did. We chose 10 songs out of the 40 or so that were written.
Wow.
And we started very slowly picking things back up. But by 2019, Laura joined the band, and we ended up starting to record the album finally in 2020. So there was still another delay, but
Right.
Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of got a whole new crew up in there and start on a new project. Very, very neat. The album has a very unique sound. You guys have created something that I think most people haven't necessarily heard before, the combination of a few different metal genres. How do you go about, I guess, when you're writing the songs, like crafting this sound? What's kind of your inspirations? What drove you to this style that you've created, really?
I can't pinpoint a certain thing. I mean, the sound was kind of shaped by the life experience throughout that hiatus. So there's a lot that happened during those years. And that's probably why there's such a variety in the sound on the album. I mean, there's a lot of dynamic when you listen to a song like Come Home, the ballad,
Yeah.
or Breathing, the third song on the album. They're very, very different. So I guess I just try to follow the music. I wasn't trying to make something particular or follow like the symphonic metal playbook or like, the melodic death metal playbook or anything. I like a lot of those subgenres of metal, and I guess they just filter through me, in my own creation. So, and when Aaliyah and Laura joined, I didn't have when I was writing the songs, I didn't have their voices in mind. So that kind of put a whole like unexpected oomph behind the music, having two strong vocalists. So
Yeah, cool. Do you ever, kind of sit out like in nature? Like, it has a lot of, in my opinion, some folk and black metal vibes to it, with like kind of a nature kind of atmospheric quality to it. Do you reflect on nature or earthly type stuff at all, or sit out, or does that just kind of happen? Like you said, it's not necessarily a conscious decision that you make with the music, and you just kind of just whatever flows out, you just roll with.
uh, definitely influenced by nature. I'd say we probably all are, in our creative ventures. But if one were to read the lyrics, they'll pick up on a lot of metaphors there that are pulled, from the earth. When I'm out walking or taking a hike and maybe thinking about or reflecting on things, or sometimes I'll see like parallel in nature to what I'm thinking about, and then I just jot it down, and yeah, I guess that's how it comes to be.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah. Aaliyah, I wanted to ask you, I know you play the keyboards and you also provide the harsh vocals on the album. What was like your approach to, have you done harsh vocals before, or was this something new to you as far as harsh vocals, or what was kind of your approach, for the sound? Because I feel like your vocals really add that extra kind of, I can't really think of the right word, maybe like ethereal or just atmospheric, kind of that black metal, vibe to it. So, what was really your approach to that?
Well, harsh vocals are relatively new for me. I've been doing them, been dabbling for a while, but only really working on my technique in earnest for a couple of years.
Wow.
And the one thing that I have learned from all of the sources that I've sought out is that it's really important to find your own voice and just try to make it comfortable and natural sounding, or natural feeling. And so that is, I think, part of why I just sound the way that I do. I mean, yeah, I do enjoy black metal. I also enjoy melodic death metal, though, and I also enjoy, deathcore. Am influenced and inspired by a lot of different types of vocals, but really, I'm just trying to make a sound that feels natural and that expresses the emotion that I'm feeling when doing those lyrics.
Wow. That's impressive. You've only been doing it a couple of years, because I have to say, like, your harsh vocals are really good. I mean, they just work really, really well with the sound and everything. Do you have James, do you also write the lyrics, or is that kind of a group effort?
Well, I've been writing the lyrics since the start of the band. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does just happen to work out that because of the abstractions from nature, that I think Lara and myself are both able to draw parallels and relate extremely well to the lyrics.
Yeah,
Not that
definitely.
all of them are nature based. It's just
Right. But I mean, it's different. Like, I have sung in other bands before. Now, I think that helps with the harsh vocals is the fact that I have a background in clean singing. So I know the basics of how to use my voice to begin with. But so I have sung in other bands that were other people's bands before, and I didn't always feel that way about their lyrics. So it just happened to work out that it just happened to work out a lot better in this case.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely evident, when listening to you guys or seeing all you guys in the music video, that it seems like everyone is definitely on the same page and, resonating with everything going on. So I think that's part of what makes the band special. But Laura, I wanted to ask you, how did you end up joining the band, or how did that whole process work? Because you know, you have a distinctive voice, and you know, I think that adds another element to the sound. You know, it works really well with the sound of the band. So how did that whole matchup work? You know, finding one another and suiting your voice to the sound and all.
Well, as far as how I found Shield of Wings, I came across them on a website called Bandix, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but
No.
okay, so yeah, and I reached out, and yeah, the rest was kind of history. But as far as the music goes, basically what Aaliyah said, I also agree with very much. As far as just I relate to the music really well, and just the way I sing the songs is just going after what feels natural to me. And because I relate with the music so well, I just feel yeah, I don't know, I relate with the music really well, and that also comes across in the music, I feel like, or at least I hope it does.
Yeah, you know, I feel like your voice has a real kind of edge to it, like a real strength. Is there, you know, how do you manifest that, or does it just come naturally, or is it in the lyrics, or you know, 'cause especially at times, you know, I feel like it really just is powerful. Where does that come from?
Thank you. Part of it just does come naturally, and there's certain lyrics and points of the song where I know that they just needed to have that extra like push or emotion in that sentence or part of the song to really give it that lift, you know. But so that's just something that, yeah, comes naturally, I guess, when learning the songs and recording.
Okay, so you don't like try to make yourself angry before singing certain parts of songs or anything like that?
Not
method singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, method singing.
Not exactly. There is definitely, as I'm recording, like a sort of visualization aspect to it for me, and trying to put myself in the headspace or the just scenery that I imagine the song to be in. But yeah, I don't like hype myself up too much or like get angry about something
Right.
before singing. But
You don't picture someone's face that you dislike, you know, while you're singing or anything.
no, not yet. Not
Not
on
yet.
any song so far.
What was it like when you all kind of first came together for the first time, and you know, everything just kind of, well, I assume it just kind of vibed. I don't know if there was a few rough patches at first or anything, but was there a specific time where you all were kind of just like, wow, this is something special, this is all working out just right, or kind of how did that work when you knew?
I have two answers for that.
Okay.
Maybe the first time was probably in the demoing phase when Laura was coming over. We didn't really know her very well at the time, but every session we did, you know, when she was learning the songs one by one, they were really exciting. It was a really exciting process. And then I suppose the second highlight was like when we started shooting our first singles music video,
Mhm.
Wetland, and we were all actually, you know, dressed up to rock out, and seeing, you know, the band in my peripherals. I'm on the far right side of the stage, so you know, it's like it's coming together,
Right.
and it felt right. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a moment for you, Laura?
Definitely the demoing process for sure was a lot of fun, and yeah, I just felt this really cool connectedness with the music, and I knew that the future was going to be exciting, you know. So
You know, speaking of Wetland, this question is going to come to no surprise to anyone who saw my reaction to the music video Wetland. And, you know, I've been excited to ask this to Laura. What on earth was it like going, what got you to go in that muck?
James did.
That's it. That's all it took. Because, like I
you
said
know,
in my
he, like,
reaction, yeah.
He told me his idea of what we were thinking for the video, And he was like, "Now, you don't have to do this, like we can get someone else to do it, like hire an actor, And I was like, "No, I'm doing it." uh, but yeah, I mean, it was very cold, and
Oh,
the worst part was, I think, the smell. It like smelled
Oh.
really nasty, especially when I was just like down in it. um, but yeah, it was fun looking back. It's like cool to be able to say that I did that. Fun times.
it's
Yeah, there's a
definitely
nice sulfuric odor from the breakdown
Uh-huh.
of all the organic matter.
Yeah. You didn't have to act too much to do those gags, and
that's
Did you?
brutal. That's brutal. Speaking of the gags, when you're spitting something out, I'm assuming that's not the swamp. That's a prop
was.
liquid, right?
Right. It was not the swamp water.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. uh, it was something I kind of mixed together with like, what was it? What I used in there? I used like buckwheat and
Mhm.
like water and a bunch of food coloring. I used like a bunch of black food dye. I was like, this needs to be as black as possible. So, but yeah, I put some like buckwheat and stuff in there to make it nice and chunky.
The secret's
Oh.
out.
Yeah.
It worked perfect. I mean, it looked like the stuff, but yeah, you weren't scared at all? Like, because I grew up in South Florida, and so when I saw the water like that, my mind just went to the Everglades, and I was like, I would not set a toe in the Everglades because there's gators and stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Were you worried about any creatures in the water, let alone swamp monsters?
Yeah, it was a bit too cold for anything to be alive, really, unless there was like a swamp monster lurking deep beneath.
Other than
But,
you, right?
And it was kind of a smaller swamp. We don't have gators here in
Yeah,
Illinois, so
right. No
That's good.
alligators here, but
And it wasn't too deep,
mhm.
so.
we made
Oh,
it look
okay.
less.
Perfect. Is it difficult finding, I've never actually been to Chicago or Illinois for that matter. But is it difficult finding the locations, for shooting your videos? Because it looks like you're in like Western Europe somewhere, in Finland or you guys find the perfect locales. Do you scout those out, or how does that work?
I think sometimes it's difficult to find exactly what you're picturing in your head, for what you want, because we don't live in any very grand places like Europe. But for wetland, we scoped out like a few different locations, and luckily the last one we looked at, or that James looked at, was the right one. But it was a bit hard to find that like true swamp look, with all the like the moss and stuff. So
Yeah, I was very satisfied with the end result, especially of Laura first entering the water. It's just perfectly framed with some of those branches coming up,
Yeah.
and then the fog in the background.
No, yeah, it's definitely perfect. Is it difficult, dragging all the equipment out to some of the areas?
Yeah,
You have to like airlift the stuff in and like drop it, or
He's our airlift.
our drummer and myself did most of the lifting.
okay.
We had to do a lot of trips into the woods with
Oof.
gear. We had a wagon, and yeah, that was not the fun part of the day.
It probably added to like the element, I guess, though, of you taking a wagon into the woods, deep into the woods to find a swamp with everything. It's like, all right, or traveling in there. For the video of Mind and Myth, what was that like, Aaliyah and Laura? How did you feel out there, making the different motions, and then you're up there doing the harsh vocals, Aaliyah, out there in the woods? And did it feel like you're out there like conjuring some kind of, entity or anything like that? How metal was it, basically?
it was another one that was definitely very cold.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, very windy too. So it was a little brutal to be out there, especially the wind. We all had like windburn on our faces. And
Mm,
Yeah, particularly the shot of me doing the harsh vocals up on the rock.
yeah.
I felt that wind biting into my skin with every second I was out there. I was just glad we got it in like 1 or 2 takes.
We almost aborted, or at least I felt like we weren't going to be able to pull it off. There was a national weather advisory, and I thought that maybe we should just, abort and try to shoot another day, but we pulled it off at the expense of a little pain.
Like, you folks are the real deal, going into swamps, trekking out into the woods, braving weather advisories.
These two, not me.
You were there.
I mean, but you two had to take your jacket off
That's
to,
true.
One with the elements, right?
yes.
Mhm.
I guess really my last question is, what does the future hold for y'all? Touring or another album, already in the work. How you guys? I know it's still early, but I guess going from now the album's out, how do y'all feel, and what's on your minds for next?
I feel absolutely a lot more relaxed because I was doing a lot of the planning and promo for the album. So I feel a lot more relaxed now that it's out. I know we have a couple more music videos that we're working on.
Oh,
Well, at least one.
Yeah.
And some other video promo material we're going to be releasing in the next month or two. And following that,
Probably no tours, but hopefully a few shows towards the middle end of summer. And then we'll move on to working on some other songs that didn't quite make it onto this album.
very cool. Awesome. Well, great stuff. Thank you guys again for joining and talking a little bit about the album. Was there anything in particular that y'all wanted to add, or anything like that? Just to give you the floor for a moment.
I like your videos.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
great videos. Everyone should watch more of your videos.
Thank you guys so much. You don't have to say that. I appreciate it. And thank you again. I'm just beyond humbled that y'all took the time to talk to me. Awesome album. And everybody out there, if you haven't listened to it already, you got to check it out. I'm going to put all of Shield of Wings details down in the description below, social media, links to the music videos that you've heard us talking about right now. And so you can follow them, check them out. And like I said, if you haven't listened or heard of them yet, get on that right now. You owe it to yourself. So there you have it. Thank you again so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's what I got for y'all today. And I'll catch y'all next time. Ranger, out.